Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Rhinoceros 3D tutorial. It's been a while since I haven't done any tutorials on Rhino because I kinda lost the motivation, because at that time when I was making those Rhinoceros 3D video tutorial, I didn't get any view or any interaction, so I kinda lost the motivation. But a few months later, I just check out my YouTube studio and kaboom! I'm hit with the spikes of view and likes and comments, which I'm really grateful, and thank you all for watching and commenting those videos. And for this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make a solitaire ring with Tiffany claw style, which is one of my best seller. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, let's start a new project by clicking on new and select the small object millimeters. Alright, we're going to start with our circle and go to our front view. Start with the world origin by typing 0 on your keyboard. Press enter. For the size of the ring, I'm going to make a ring of the size of 16 millimeter. Press enter once again. I'm going to select my new circle, and as always, I'm going to offset this circle. For the size of the band ring, I'm going to make a ring of the size of 1.95 millimeter. Then simply click on the canvas. Alright, I'm going to import a gem, and you can download all this gem on my Patreon, which I will leave a link down below this description. I'm going to select my round gem and just simply import it. I'm going to put the gems on another layer, which is the layer 02, and click on the change object layer. Now I'm going to change the size of the diamond to a 1 carat diamond, which is about 6.5 millimeter. Now I'm simply going to move this up into position, somewhere around here. Alright, now we are going by starting to make our head, which is our crown or whatever it is called. First of all, we are going to go to our front view by double clicking on it, and then I'm going to change the view to the ghosted view, just like that. I'm going to start by drawing some lines to define our claw. We are going to make a base and simply decide how wide we want the base to be. So I'm going to make a line by typing line command on your keyboard. I'm going to select both sides and snap our point anywhere on this green axis. Now for the size of it, I'm going to make it at 2.35, which will be the thickness of our band ring. I'm going to divide it by 2. Press enter and click on canvas. So I'm going to click on the line we made and move it up to somewhere around here. Alright, now we're going to make a claw, and I'm going to use the line command again. Snap at the end of the line we made, and I want the claw to go past our gems, and we are going to set it at an angle somewhere around here. It is fine. And now I'm going to offset this line once again, typing offset to a distance of 1.1 millimeter or even more, 1.15, just like that. Press enter on your keyboard. Simply click on your canvas. So the thickness will really depend on the manufacturer you're working with, or if you are a private company which use 3D printing and also use those type of resin printing, you probably will add a more thickness to something about 2 millimeter, because you have to anticipate the shrinkage. And in my experience, casting resin, for example, will have the most shrinkage. And also, of course, it depends on the type of 3D printer model you have. If you have something that is old, it is less accurate. But anyway, this video is just an example and also a practice. But anyway, let's draw a parallel line by typing line on your keyboard. Simply make an horizontal line and hold shift on your keyboard, just like that. Now I'm going to make a curve right here for the bottom of our claw. I'm going to select our line and press F10 on your keyboard, and I'm going to move this line first to something around here. Now we're going to make a curve, like I said, by simply using our control point curve and snap it at the end of our line. And I'm going to constrain this line to be straight to align with our curve by simply snapping on it first and then press tab, which will make like a guideline for our next point, which I will simply like place it around here and then simply make a curve and snap it to the bottom line and accept it with the right click. Alright, now we can simply trim the excess lines. I'm going to select every curve we just made, and simply press on the trim command. Then delete those extra lines we don't need. Now, of course, before we move on, we are going to join this line together by selecting them all and then type join on your keyboard. I'm probably going to move this thing up just a little bit, like that. So you can check the distance of the end right here by simply using a line. Right now it's at 1.1 millimeter because it's going to sit on a cylinder just like any like classical rings. Right, if you are satisfied with how it looks right now, we can revolve our claw by simply typing revolve on your keyboard. And now for the start of the revolve, we're going to press 0 for the world origin. And now I want to snap over the gems and not on the gems itself. I'm going to press shift to constrain and make a straight line and simply left click anywhere on canvas. And then I'm going to press full circle, and this is going to be the base of our claw, which of course we will cut it to make those Tiffany claw styles. So let's make sure like it is a closed solid surface, which will be displayed on our property tab. So to make our claw, we are going to switch to the top view, and now I'm going to simply change the view again and switch to the ghosted view. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to make a line, typing line on your keyboard, snap it on the word origin and snap it somewhere around here. For the thickness of our claw, I will make a claw of the size of 1.1 millimeter, and I'm going to like offset this curve to 0.55 millimeter, just like that. And then I can mirror this line, typing mirror across the y-axis. So now I've got the width of our claw. So now I'm going to simply make an array polar by typing array polar on our keyboard. Place the center of our polar array, typing 0. Number of item, we want 6 claw. And for the angle, of course, we want a full circle, so it will be 360 degree. Just like that. Press enter once again. Now I'm going to switch to the perspective view, and what we need is simply those two inside curves, and we are going to trim the extra curve that is hanging. I'm going to select both curves and use our trim command. Simply delete those extra curves. Press enter on your keyboard. Now don't forget to join them together. So why are we doing that? It's because we simply going to make an object based on this curve and simply cut it through our cylinder on the top. Let me change the perspective view to ghosted first. So before we do that, we're going to round the corner off. I'm going to type fillet. So for the radius, I'm going to make, let's try 0.5. Press enter. Select the first curve and the second curve. Now we want to close this curve, make a closed curve by using our line, snap it at the end and join it at the other end, just like that. Now I'm going to select all of those curves and join them together. Now if we check on our property tab, we have a closed curve. Alright, now we can simply extrude this curve by typing extrude curve on your command and then simply like extrude your curve to somewhere around here. It is fine. I'm going to switch to the front viewport, zoom out a little bit, and simply move this thing up somewhere around here. So as you can see, guys, this is going to simply be our cutter, and that will define the shape and make our claws. But before doing that, I would like to make the bottom of our object a little bit bend like that. To do that, we're going to use the cage edit command. Now I'm going to select the bounding box command. For the coordinate system, I'm simply going to press enter. For the cage parameter, we want this to be 4 point count, and 4 on the Z. For the degree, simply leave at 333. Now let's confirm by simply right clicking and right clicking again. Now we have some control points. So now I'm going to select all the bottom control points, and then I simply want to bend the box like that. And from here you kinda be able to finesse how you want the result to be. So you can play around a little bit, don't be afraid. Switch like to other viewport and simply like visualize the end result. And let's say you like how it looks right now. You can now press escape again to exit the cage edit command. And now we can select our cutter and simply make an array polar command once again. I'm going to switch to the perspective mode to have a better vision. Center of our polar array will be 0. Number of item will be 6. And simply press enter on your keyboard. So if you want to make some adjustments once again, you can simply like select the cage right here, control, and then press F10 on your keyboard. Switch back to the front view and make some adjustment as you desired. Alright, now if you like the result, you can go ahead and make some cuts. But before I do that, I'll make like a thinner base. Simply like make it a little bit narrow, just like that, and just see how it looks. We can bring it down if we want to. I mean, like, don't have to follow me. I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want, right? We can like select this and simply make it narrow like that. See how it looks. Alright, once you're happy with that, exit the cage edit. I'm going to select our claw base like that, and I'm going to make a boolean difference. Press enter on your keyboard and select all of our cutter, just like that, and simply press enter once again, and now we have made our claw. So before we go ahead and move on, I want to refine our claw first by simply rounding off those like edge right here using the fillet edge command. I'm going to input the radius first, and as we know, our claw is 1.1 millimeter, and we can like simply try 0.55, which is half fit. I'm going to select edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. Press enter on your keyboard. This is how it looks. We can go ahead and do this on all of our edge by simply right clicking and double click on the edge like that. I'm going to select the whole curve, press enter, and simply do the same on all of the other edge. Alright, now let's do some more refinement. I'm going to switch to my front view, and what I want to do is to make some cuts at the bottom of our claw. I'm going to use the curve, and I'm going to place our first curve somewhere around here. Next curve somewhere around here. And what I want to do is snap my curve something around here, but it doesn't like quite align it because of the gems. I'm going to click over here and accept it. I'm going to select my my curve we made, press F10, turn on the control point, and I'm simply going to adjust how it looks, just like that. Now I can turn off the control point. I can mirror this, select my curve across the y-axis, just like that. Now I can simply like join these together and simply like close this space on bottom, select all of them again, and then join them together to make a closed curve. Now we can extrude this curve, typing extrude command. And I don't want to extrude on both sides. I simply need like one side, and extrude it to something like that. Before continuing, I want to select my object and change to another layer so we can see it better like that. So before moving forward, I want to refine this object, our cutter, first, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift and select this edge. I'm going to move this down somewhere around here, just like that, and also want to move this face by selecting Ctrl and Shift and scale it down a little bit, and also move it a little bit down somewhere around like that. Now we can array polar this object, typing array polar, center 0, number of items 6, 360 degrees, enter, press enter. Now we can do a Boolean difference by selecting our claw, select the object which is our cutter, then press enter, just like that, guys. So we made an adjustment earlier so we can have like a bigger like contact point, and if we didn't make it, this surface right here will be really small. So now we made our claw, and let's have a better view by deleting those extra curves we don't need. And you guys can save this claw for future use, and let's continue our ring. Alright guys, now let's go ahead and create our shank. Let's switch to the front viewport, and I'm going to select my outside circle, and I'm going to select this control point on the top right here, and I'm just simply going to move up just like that. I'm going to press escape once again, and now we can simply create the shape of our ring. I'm going to switch to my top viewport. Right now I'm going to use the line command, typing line command, select both sides, snap it on the inside circle like that. And like we said before, we want the thickness of our band ring of the size of 2.35 millimeter, and I'm going to divide it by 2. Press enter, simply click on the canvas. Now I want to make an arc to make like a nice arch band ring. I'm going to grab my arc tool and click on the second one. I'm going to snap on the top end and right at the bottom end like that, and simply make an arc something around like that. And I'm going to select the new arc we made. Now I can close the gap using my line. Same on the other part. Now I can select them all and simply join them together. So what we are going to do now, we're going to make a copy of this shape. Go to my front viewport. I'm going to select the rotate command and click on copy. Type 0 on my keyboard. And I'm going to snap it straight like that. And I'm going to make and place my copy to somewhere around here. It is fine. If I switch to my top view, now I'm going to deform my first shape and turn it to a nice knife shank. But before I do that, I have to purge the history. Purge all, just like that. Now I can go ahead and deform this shape without affecting the copy curve we made. So I'm going to do something like that, which is totally fine. So you can go ahead and simply like deform a little bit until you are satisfied with how it looks. So right now, let's go back to our front view, and I want to place like these curves and rotate it and to place on the top of our shank ring. So I'm going to simply use the rotate command, and I'm going to turn off the copy, press enter, center of rotation 0, and then constrain line, and I'm going to simply place it here. Before going ahead, I'm going to isolate those curves so we can have a better vision. Now I'm going to switch to my right viewport, and as expected, like our close curve is not tall enough. So I'm going to select my close curve, and I'm going to use the 1D scale, which is this one here. So I'm going to place the base point at the bottom, and of course one at the top, and I'm simply going to stretch this around to snap it at the top of our circle right here. Let's go back to our perspective mode, and here is how it looks right now. Right now I'm going to select the second curve, and I'm going to mirror it to the other side, just like that. So before we go ahead, I want to make a fillet on the corners right here, on the sharp corners. I don't want the fillet to be on the top one. I want to maintain this sharp point. So I'm going to type fillet, and I'm going to select the curve, just like that. And now I want to join these together. And also I want to do this on these two shapes down below. But this time I'm going to use the fillet corners, which is same, but the difference is going to fillet every like corners on your shape. Type 0, enter, enter. And here we have. Now we can use the sweep to command and use our like two rails. Simply type sweep to. Select the first rail, which is the inside, and then the outside. Then select the shape to sweep, which is this one, and that one. Press enter. Make sure like it is facing on the same direction, like that, and press enter. Now we can close our object and select the maintain height and press OK. Let's bring back our gemstone and claw by typing show on your keyboard. This is how it currently looks. Let's check it with shaded mode, and we have an issue right here. We can see that the knife edge is shifting to the side, and let's go back a little bit, typing Ctrl Z. Let's do it again. Sweep to rail, select the two rails and our shape right here, press enter, and this time I'm going to place the point at at the very top like that, and adjust it on the bottom as well. Let's see if it is facing the same direction. I hope like this is going to fix our problem, and it somehow did, like what you see here. Then let's bring back our gems just like that. So guys, let's make some more refinement, especially on the top part right here. Going to switch to my front view, and I'm going to make a line, snap it at the world origin, shift to constraint, and I'm going to make another line, and I'm going to place it somewhere around here. I'm going to mirror this line on the other side, just like that. Before moving ahead, I'm going to split my shank into parts by selecting my shank ring and then type split. Select the cutting object, which is this, and this line. Press type enter, just like that. And now we have like separated our shank. I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to mirror this one on the other side, just like that. Now what I can use the cage edit command and select bounding box, coordinate world, which is fine. Going to use the default parameters, press enter again, enter, and now I'm going to select those control points, switch to my perspective, and now I can squeeze the shank, the top shank, and I'm only selecting like the front control points and not like the second range, because it's going to affect the shank, especially the splitted parts right here. So I'm only like adjusting the first row, just like that. And you kind of like can check on going on the top to see how it tapers like that, slightly tapers towards the inside. So once you're happy with that, you can simply escape, and now we can join all of those separated parts together. Alright, now we can select our shank, and as you can see, we have a slight problem over here because our shank is still in open poly surface even when I click the join together. So I can guarantee you guys that the problem is right here, this part right here. So I'm going to Control Z and go back a little bit, and I'm going to redo the cage edit command, select bounding box, press enter, but this time I'm going to increase the X point count to 6 to add an additional row of point count. Just like that, it added like a new row, and I'm going to do the same thing. Going to like taper this down, just like that, and probably like also taper the second row, but I want to be like careful not to overdo it. Let's check it how it looks. Maybe I'm going to make more adjustment right here. Alright, so once you're happy with that, we can escape and then try it again. Join this and this, press enter, and now if we check our properties tab, we have a closed solid poly surface. So now we can create the base of our claw by simply like creating a cylinder, and I'm going to type cylinder on my command line, type 0. For the diameter, like we said before, it's going to be 2.35, just like that. For the height, like just make something like that. Now I'm going to go to my front viewport, go and select my cylinder and use the move command, snap the top and simply like place it somewhere here at first, then use the move command again, place the point right here and then press shift and simply snap it at the bottom of our claw, just like that. So for the bottom one, I can like press shift, control and shift and select the bottom surface like that. I can add its a slight taper like that, and also I can move it up somewhere around here. And let's go back to our front viewport like that. Now I can select my cylinder and use the wire cut command and select our inner rail like that. Press enter. And now as you can see, it like cut it perfectly. Alright, now let's switch back to our front view. So now we want to make a cut on our shank to leave some space for our gemstones. So we are going to use a polyline first. I'm going to snap first point over here and I want to place it somewhere around here for the second point. I don't want to go over because I want to leave some space to actually connect the shank to our claw. I'm going to snap the end of our line over here, somewhere around here. And now I can mirror this to the other side. Now I can select both of these and join them together. And what I can do now is wire cut our shank. Wire cut, select the cutting curve, which is this one. Press enter. Enter once again. We can select the parts we don't want and simply delete it. Just like that. Alright guys, that's it guys. You created a nice Tiffany ring style. And of course like you can make more adjustment, like make holes on the bottom here, or even like separate this around like that and like have a separate casting. But anyway guys, I hope you liked this video and I hope it was useful to you. Leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching and see you guys in the next video.